Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Harsangat Kaur Khalsa, and I'm here today to tell you my story about Hala Mahala. I just competed this year, and this was in March. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, maybe you guys are, but it's an event where Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj Ji had for all his Singhs and Singnia to show their skills and their PR for Sikhi and their skills of archery and all the weaponry. And so I was really, I've been wanting to do this for about 2 years, and so I'm going to lead you up to this story, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory of where I came from and how I even got to this point, because it will help with the story. So obviously I wasn't born into a Sikh family. I didn't even know what a Sikh was until 2008, which was really interesting. And I just want to say one thing before I start is that a lot of people tell me, they're like, you can't really say these things because, it's like a bad story and, but I think that if I'm really honest about where I came from and I think you guys can relate to me a little bit more and I can relate with you a little bit more. So I really am doing this for the first time. So I came from a Christian mother and a Muslim Sufi father. And my childhood was quite rough, like a lot of people. And I had a lot of problems with depression and I had some learning disabilities towards my issues growing up. And but there was a blessing in my life, and that was horses. And I had the gift of drawing. So basically, most of my time in school was drawing. I drew horses, that's it. They thought, they were like, what is this girl doing? I was obsessed. I was basically like a horse nerd. I knew everything about horses, and that was it. I was just like, I was the encyclopedia. I didn't have any horses until I got a little bit older, I wanted to be a pro rider. That's what I wanted to do. I grew up in Texas, and I would ride horses that would never ever be touched by a human. My mother and I used to rescue horses that were abused, and so I really related with them. And so I was riding an ex-race horse off of a track, and I got badly injured, where I could not ride anymore. So I had a ruptured lumbar disc, a compacted L5, and my shoulders were out. And so that kind of just changed my life completely because that's what I wanted to do. So it was really devastating for me, and so I just kind of forgot about it. But I did sneak out, and I was a teenager, I did sneak out. But, I really related to the story yesterday, how, you would, there was some Zavadars that would go and clean the muck out of the stalls. So that's what I would do. I didn't own a horse anymore because they sold the horse, the last one that I had. So I would go to this trail ride place, and out of an exchange, I would clean the stalls and teach people how to ride on the trail rides, and I would get to play with all the horses. So that was what I did, and I would sneak out a lot of the times and didn't tell my dad that's what I did. So I got a little bit older, and horses weren't really in my life anymore after a situation that happened. And it's just one more of these stories, okay, and then it'll get better. So I almost passed away, and it was basically the last moments of my life that I thought I had. I accepted my death, and I said that, okay, God, this is the end of my life. And I want to say that my mother, she always taught me how to pray. She's a Christian, but I always prayed at night, no matter where I was or what I did. And the last seconds of my life, I was with another girl, and she was sitting next to me, and all I remember was I was just completely in prayer, and I kept thinking of all my family members and seeing all of them, and I didn't say any words the whole time. And then I said something. And when I said it, I never really said this in front of everybody, but I'm going to say it. I said that my father's coming. Didn't know where this came from. And I said it from my gut. And I said my father's coming. And I kept saying it, and I lived. And the police and everyone, they said, we don't know how you survived. And I did. And now I know. When I learned about Sikhi, I knew why I survived. And so it's been a great blessing. And also another thing is, what really changed my life in Sikhi was learning the history. I didn't know a lot of the history, but when I came into Sikhi, I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. I didn't have a lot of questions. It was really interesting because this was 6 months before. I'm going to take you 6 months before I found Sikhi. I was already growing out my hair. My hair was really long. I was vegetarian. And I remember waking up one morning, and I didn't know anything about Amrit Vela. And I was writing a poem. And I kept that poem. And when I found Sikhi, I read that poem again, and I realized that it was very in line with this path and how I felt. And it's a blessing to read that poem, to remind me of how powerful this is and how real it is for all of us, and we all have the chance to connect with this. And also another thing, I was running, and I remember it was about a year, I can't remember, but I was running, and I said, God, I wish I had something to chant to. I wish I had some inspiration, like something to keep me going. Because, like I said before, I really struggled with chronic depression. I was like a ghost, seriously, walking ghost. I had everything though, so they would say you have everything. A nice car, nice job, amazing job, working in Comedy Central, living in LA, had a beautiful home, amazing, like people, everybody wants, you know. But I was very empty, and I felt like I was always longing for something, almost to the point where I was like, why am I even living? What is this? This is really mundane. But throughout my life, horses have always been like this symbol to me, this freedom, I always envisioned this black horse. Always. And I always thought, well, why don't I have a white horse in my dream? You know, like the white, beautiful, perfect horse. No, it was always the black horse, and the really strong and powerful horse. And so how I even found this blessing, I wasn't even looking. A friend said, come to this meditation. And I said, okay. I was very open to things. I'm always open to seeing what people have to offer. So I said, sure. And this was this place in Los Angeles, and they were chanting for 2.5 hours. And I, first of all, I had a lot of resistance to getting into the door. Like right when I got into the door, I said, oh God, what did I just get myself into? And then at the front of the person, kind of like the host, said, your seat's already ready for you. Go sit down. And so I'm in a room and there's like a lot of people. And they sit me right in the front, like this empty seat. And I'm like, wow, really? And I'm so embarrassed. And so they're chanting and I just burst in tears. I don't even know why or what, or how. It's just like, I just kind of felt like I just cried a whole lifetime in those 2.5 hours. So soon after that, it was maybe 2 weeks, I was blessed to have the darshan of Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Okay, this is a really funny story, and so I'm sitting here, and I'm reading from the Guru from the first time, and I don't remember the page numbers, but it was in the 300s. The light fixture fell on my head as I was reading from the Guru.
The light fixture fell.
It was, and I was laughing because it was just so hilarious. Like, okay, so that was that's what happened to me, and okay, and from after that, my life completely changed then, like completely after the darshan, and I will say my family, like, totally did not accept it at all, not even a chance. My friends, I lost a lot of friends. But obviously, you know, they're not your real friends. They're there for whatever you have for them. And the friends that you do have, they stick by you, always. No matter what we do or go through, our sisters are with us, even in spirit. So it was quite a journey. I'm not just saying that, oh, the light fixture got on my head and I'm like perfect sick, you know, nah. I'm learning. We're always learning. But it's also having like respect too, you know, for everything, and grace. And encourage, like just doing it, following your heart is the most important thing that I've done in my life, is follow my heart, even though in my mind like, what are you doing? So yes, I took my Amrit in 2009, and yep. So, and you know, it's been a journey. We're not perfect, but it's about compassion. You know, for even yourself, compassion for yourself and others. You know. And really seeing the God in everyone. And like, even though that like this person is really rude to you and really annoying, they're gonna maybe teach you something. Especially the ones that give you the most, they teach you the greatest lessons. As long as you have the grace and the courage to face it, you will learn. And especially the elders. They have so much to, you know, you can learn so much from them, and just having the respect for them is actually a blessing for you, and for them. You know, they're learning from you too, and so I always love hanging out with the elders. And it's also I wish I knew Punjabi. It's one of my prayers, is learning Punjabi, Gurmukhi, and. Also, another thing, when I don't know Gurmukhi, but I'm learning Santhya right now, which is really important for everybody, I think, when you're reading Gurmukhi, to understand it. Because I thought, you know, I read actually English for a long time, and I know the translation is not exactly it, but it's kind of getting the essence of it. But it's really important to know what you're reading and just trying to embody it. So what I do when there's a hukum, I can't understand it. I studied the rags, and I don't know all the rags, but I learned the emotion of the rag. So when the person is reciting the hukanama, they're embodying Guru, and when they're speaking, you're getting that emotion of the rag, and also you can feel it as well. I don't need to tell you this, but so it's also helpful to understand the rags too, I think, to kind of get the vibration of it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about Hala Mahalla. Okay, all right, 2012, I was with Midi Pidi Academy, and they do a march during Hala Mahalla behind Baba Nihal Singh Ji, and I'm standing with all the people in kind of like the women stand in the middle, and the guys stand on the outside with all their city sahibs and shisters, so that the women are safe. So I'm in the middle, and I'm seeing all these horses, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to do this. Like, But I was just like, okay, it looks kind of dangerous, but I was like, yeah. So we get to the field of where all of the horses are, and they have the doles, you know. And it sounds to me when I hear a dole, it sounds like horses, you know. And so it always gets me like really charged up. And so we all get there. I think you guys know like some of the Midi Pidi kids, and we all get there and we're standing there and they're like, okay, everybody leave, we gotta go. And I was like, wait, what? We just got here. What? I don't understand. So they're very scared of it, and I understand because everybody's kind of young, and like the girls, you know. Like I actually had a guy grab me, and I actually punched him really hard. And I don't say violence is. I don't say violence is a thing that you need to do. Obviously, you guys know how to use your you know, courage and stuff. But I had a guy actually grab me, and I had to retaliate. And he thought I was like this little girl from the Midi Academy, but he was mistaken. Yeah.
What was his intention?
He grabbed me full on.
Meaning to take you to the bus? Or
No, molestation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, like, why did all these, wait, I'm confused. I thought this was a parade or what?
So we're all the procession, the Jalous, yeah? Like all the, you know, Jethadars, everybody and their horses get to the stadium where all of the, like, the horses are racing. So we're all standing there, okay? And Midi Pidi Academy is like, we gotta get out of here, it's getting crazy.
So there's a lot of people coming on. You guys
yeah, it's crowded, like really crowded. So I'm like, wait a second. So I'm like behind them, they're leaving, and I'm like, I don't want to go. And so a guy grabbed me in a very inappropriate way.
Oh.
He thought I was a girl, a little girl in the Midi Pidi Academy.
You just thought, yeah, you did.
Yeah, so he got what he needed. And I'm not like celebrating that, but I think women really need to know how to take care of themselves. Like I'm not saying like just ego, it's not. It's just reality. It's just reality in a graceful way, you know?
I don't think that does what? Good job.
Okay, so Midi Pidi got on the buses, they're leaving, and they're far away. I mean, we get to the house where we're all staying, and it's really far away, and I leave, I run all the way back to the stadium. I'm running alone. Just totally running. And they're like, wait a second. I'm like, I'm going, I'm an adult. I'm going. So I'm running. I'm seriously like sweating. I'm running. I just knew it. I knew how to go. There's like people like goras, like whatever. Okay, so I get to the stadium. It was like, I can't really explain how I felt, but it was just like, it was awesome. Just to be there. And so I knew this guy, and he runs over to me, and he's like, Harsangat! He knew it. He actually is a polo, he rides polo. And he's like, how are your horse? And I was like, yes! And this horse comes, and it's black, and it's big, and it's just like, the most beautiful horse I've ever seen. Well, all of them are really beautiful. So yeah, so I've never ridden a Nihon horse. This is my first experience around them, except from the Jalous, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes before. And okay, so he tells me what I need to do, and the Nihon tradition, you cannot wear shoes on your horse. It's out of respect. And so I took my shoes off gladly. And you pay respect to the horse, because these horses are not like, oh, you can ride my horse. This is the Nihon horse. He had the horse since it was a baby. You know, they're like brothers. So it was quite an honor to be on this horse. And he told me that a woman has never ridden this horse either. And this horse is really big, and I'm really small. I was actually a lot smaller than two. And so I get on the horse, and I could feel the horse, and it was really testing me. And horses test you to see the dominance, because they're, this is the mentality of a horse. They're pack animals, so you need to be dominant. And so I was like, okay, he's gonna test me. So I was really, really ready for it, and I prepared myself because I've done this many times. And so the horse stood on its back legs, straight up. And I was like, okay, I'm still on. And then he does it again. And I was like, okay, I know what I'm dealing with right now. And then I stay on, and he's prancing, and I'm like, okay, he takes off, like full on, like horse race. There's a crowd, you know how Mahala is, just like people everywhere, horses everywhere. And I was like, oh goody. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important part. I'm really sorry. I did an ardas. I did an ardas before I got on the horse, okay? So I did my ardas. And so I really, really trusted in it. With full on, everything I had, I gave it trust. This is all I had. And because I know this, I've ridden crazy horses, but these Nahum horses are really, really, really big. And they're really dangerous. And I've ridden Arabians, you know, they're like this tall, and they're like that big, you know. So, and the horse takes off, and it's into a crowd, and I am just like, okay, Guruji, you know, I did this toss, and so I stopped him. It was almost to the out of the stadium, like seriously, the horse was going back to where the Jalous was, like that fast. So I stopped him, and I'm gonna put the photos up. I stopped him, and they gave me a talwar, and I never held a talwar on a horse before until that moment. And I did a bole soniol. Oh yeah, so I did a bole soniol for the first time on a horse. That was amazing. And then,
That's you?
yes. I don't know. Yeah. So that was my experience. Okay, this is year 2012, the one with the sword, okay? The other one is this year. I just want to tell you. So there's a little bit more to the story, and I know we might be running out of time, I'm not sure. We're not, okay. All right, so, and then I got off the horse, and that was it. So that was 2012. And then after that, I went back home, and I really wanted to come back for the next year. And I was thinking all in you know how we have this thing where we're like having these plans and this idea, and this is how it's gonna go, and I'm gonna do it this way, and da-da-da. I was like planning, I'm gonna get my horse in Punjab, and I'm gonna train, you know? I even tried to train in Texas. No. Guruji did not want that to happen. It was just what it was. I had to have the skills that I had my whole life to do this. And basically, so I resisted. So after thinking I was going to get training in Texas and get training in India, it all fell through. And this was late February. And I was like, I'm not going to go this year. And then I was like, you know what? It's not about me. It's not about me. This is about a whole nother thing here. And I have to get my ego out of it. And I have to get my fear out of it and trust in Guruji and my ardas. So I get to Punjab, and obviously I still don't have the horse. And so I go through the Jalous again, still no horse. I even see Baba Nihal's daughters riding a horse. I'm like, where's my horse? And I was like, okay. I was accepting. I totally accepted it. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna ride this year. That's okay. It's fine. So we get to the field again, and the drums, and I'm just sitting here watching it, and I'm watching everybody, and the same guy comes. Harsangat, we have the horse. Not the exact same way, but pretty much. And it was another horse. The horse that I rode in that one, he passed away. That's why I didn't have the horse, by the way. He passed away, got hit by a car in the Dal next to Amritsar. And so this other black horse came along, and so I get on the horse, the same thing, I do my ardas. And this time it's a race. It's not just I'm going to see if I can ride this horse. It was an actual race where they do the spears. And they pick up the, it's when Guruji, the tent pegging, when they would do a night, the Singhs would go at night and take the tents down. So they would get the other army with that in Anandprasad. I think it was Chamkar, sorry, was it Chamkar? Chamkar, yeah. So I meet the horse 10 minutes before the race. Of course, right? And I get on the horse and I'm racing full speed with other horses and spears, and it was amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I went a couple of rounds, but I stopped due to I wasn't throwing any spears. I was just doing the race because I didn't get training in the spears. So I got to do that. But what I want to say is that when I got off the horse, I saw all these Kaurs, and they wanted to sit on a horse too. And I saw all these beautiful, it was just like such a blessing to see that. And afterwards, like, just because horses, they represent freedom and independence. And women in India, you know, right now it's really hard. It's hard for women all over the world. So I felt like that's why I rode. And I just wanted to share that with you. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki.
Any questions?
Do you plan on doing 2014 again?
I plan, but we say we plan, but we don't really know. If Guru blesses me with that, it would be a blessing. I would love to, obviously. I would love to one day teach people how to ride horses in a very, very natural way. Not
Also, center can sponsor you and buy some horses too. If you do that here, Khalsa Center can sponsor it.
Well, we'll just see what Guru wants. You never know where I have to be in this world, where it should happen. So if Guru wants, then that's what I'll do.
How about your injuries? So you're riding the horse, does it affect you?
Yeah, I have a lot of injuries actually.
So how are you coping up with it? Like, I thought you weren't supposed to allow it.
Well, you know what? It's just my body is Guru's. It hurts, but pain gives you remembrance, you know. And I do a lot of things. I'm sure you've seen me running around, you know, or doing stuff to keep active. You've got to keep your body strong. And it's also diet too. If you're just sitting around eating sugar and wheat and stuff like that, you're gonna not feel good. But if you're doing things that really make you feel good, it heals your body. We can heal it. Yeah, one of my discs will never ever be regenerated. Like, it's just compacted really small. So it's impossible for it to ever be better. But I do things to counterbalance that, and it really. So if I don't do those things, I'm in a lot of pain and I can hardly walk sometimes. But I have to do those things, and I'm not happy to.
You have a simple diet.
Yeah, my diet is pretty simple. I love chocolate, but it's.
What girl doesn't?
But I'm working on that, and actually, brother here, he does set of low, and he just showed me this amazing chocolate that has no sugar and it's with dates and nuts. And this Auntie G made it in Surrey. Wow. You know, I'm still getting used to the kind of low sugar of it. But it's a treat, you know, we don't have to go and be perfect. Just love yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and follow your heart. That's all I can say. And your ardas. That was the talk was about the ardas. So, thank you. Any more?
So you said you picked up the sword for the first time there.
It was not my first time picking up the talwar. It was my first time with the talwar on top of a horse doing the bola
Have you
singing.
learned Gatka or anything after that?
Yes. Right now. I've been learning the pantra for about 2 years. So I'm just doing the groundwork now. I want to do. It's called Shastar Vidya. So that's my plans. Anybody else or am I done?
You're really cute.
We're just mirrors, right? Like, you see yourself in me, right? It's true. What you see in me, you see in yourself. That's what you're seeing is yourself. Wait, no, I'm serious. Why did you call Khalsa?